At the end of my last video, I made a comment that Blue Fire Witch was the same as PC. I don't remember exactly how I said it, but I leveled some accusation saying that she did use some of the same tactics that Chris uses. She's dishonest as Chris. Maybe not as dishonest as Chris, but I want to illustrate and give an example of this dishonesty on something that is so simple that even the most feeble of minds can understand. So Chris, if you're watching, you'll be able to follow along too. Last night, Blue Fire Witch asked me if I was pro-life. Now, I think she knew that the answer was going to be yes. And I think that most people know, if they're being intellectually honest, if someone asks another person, are you pro-life? They know what that means. It's dealing with abortion. Are you pro-life? If I say yes, it's commonly understood to mean that I am against abortion. Now, if you don't agree with that, you're just not being honest. Let's take the other term, pro-choice, which I'd just as soon say pro-abortion, anti-abortion myself. But we have these terms out there. People use them all the time when you're dealing with the topic of abortion. If I ask somebody, are you pro-choice, and they say yes, I know that doesn't mean choosing between any two things. It means pro-choice. That means you are for abortion, or you think abortion is okay or it should be legal. It doesn't mean you can choose everything in the world. So pro-life doesn't mean that I'm against the death penalty, for example. For or against. It doesn't mean either one of those two things. The term pro-life is specifically, when asked that directly like it was from Blue Fire Witch, we both knew what it meant. It was asking for my position on abortion. So I gave her the position. I said, yes, I am pro-life. She comes back with this comment. I'll just read it. Statistics show that countries with socialized healthcare have much lower infant death rates. We rank below Cuba, South Korea, Israel, and 30 other countries when it comes to infant mortality. Most of these countries have socialized healthcare. So apparently, you are only pro-life when it's convenient for you. Now, what a crock of shit that is. My answer had nothing at all to do with infant mortality rates. We both know, Blue Fire Witch, that you were asking for my position on abortion. That you have to try to set a trap like this for me shows how absolutely dishonest and deceptive you are. You're just like your man. I will tell the audience, for anybody that's interested, examples of how I know Chris to be dishonest. Now, I've been making YouTube videos since about 2008. I got some earlier than that, but a little more consistently about 2008. And about the time I met Chris, I made a video. I got into it with him about, and I talk about this in other videos that I've made. I got into it about Chris where he insisted that Bill Clinton wiped out the United States national debt while he was president. Now, Chris, I tried to tell him that what he was doing was confusing the deficit, which is, a yearly thing. How much money comes into the government, how much is paid out, that's a deficit. The debt is the overall, how much we are in the frickin' hole. That's never been wiped out anywhere near Bill Clinton's frickin' 2 terms in office. And I showed Chris, and this went on for 4 days. It's a pretty simple thing. I showed him a link to a website that showed what the deficit was what the debt was during all 8 years of Clinton's administration. That's government sites. I don't believe in those. And all this stuff went on. Finally, through private messages, Chris admitted to me that he knows that the debt wasn't wiped out, but he wouldn't do it out in the public because he didn't want other people to see that he was wrong. He said, you know you do it too. No, I don't do it too. If somebody proves me wrong, I will say I prove him wrong. That's one thing. Another thing that he did, I made videos ridiculing him, but only after he wouldn't seriously debate on the topics. I said, dude, you're gonna have to answer this question. I'll answer that, but first I gotta, and then he tells all this bullshit that has nothing to do, so I started ridiculing him. Eventually, I made him leave YouTube. He closed his account down. He came back, he came back and I don't know how much longer later it was, but he made these books and he advertised these books for websites that he had. I went out and read them. And I took screenshots of these websites that he made that said all this information is non-fiction. I had those screenshots made. I probably still have them somewhere if I went and looked. And I looked at it and I read this one book. I mean, I was just reading his stuff. And I saw a part where he actually said that he defeated the devil in his room. He was face to face with the devil and he used his Wiccan spell that he just made up. Anybody wants to go look, you can look it up. It's called Deceptasaurus. I made that video. He claims that, you know, lucky for him, he just picked up Wicca and he knew this spell that he made and he freaking made the devil go away. And I made the video, then he tried to, and now his videos are all gone, so we can't see what his argument was. He basically said that I didn't know the difference between fiction and nonfiction, and he went to his website and changed the verbiage on that website. Me and my son both saw it. I had the screenshots. He went there and purposely changed what it said, and it said that it's mostly nonfiction or something. It was some little nuance that he changed, purposely deceiving the people that he was trying to freaking entertain or whatever. He is a deceitful person. If backed into a corner to admit that he was wrong, he won't do it. He would rather lie about it. Another thing, he was debating another YouTuber called Super Angry Monkey. You might have heard of him. He was having this debate. Nobody believed that Chris was winning the debate. Nobody believed. He actually went to one of his other buddies and asked him if he could please come and say that he thought that Chris was winning so that everybody wouldn't be against him. And that other guy actually came on. His name is Chad. Well, Chad will cock slap you. He came and made a video and said, I'm sick of this, blah, blah. Basically called PC, or Prince Christopher, which he's now known as Prince Lord Chris. He called him out and told him, look, he told everybody. He told me to come and say, of course he wasn't winning. Freaking Chris is stupid, and he went off and blah, blah, blah. And Chris had to go crying to him and tell him, please take the video down. And he took the video down. He's a dishonest person. Tries to get on the camera and assign positions to me. Chris, you are a freaking liar. You are a liar. You can't be in an honest debate. You can't. And your woman can't either. Look at this nonsense with the pro-life thing. That's just one example. Something so simple as pro-life, pro-choice. She can't even freaking be honest about that. How can we possibly talk about something as sophisticated as our healthcare system? You guys deserve each other. You're both dishonest people that believe in fairies, fantasy, and I hope you guys have a great life together. So, what else? I guess that's about it for now. Talk to you guys later. Have a great one.